I don't really want to be clonic Barbie. Like, I wanted to be perfectionist Barbie, but I'm not. I'm like extremely messy right now. Welcome back to my lived inquiry into emergence. Essentially, what happens when your life falls apart, and instead of forcing it back together, you let it and see what happens when you let go of control and a creative process to unfold through you. I'll be honest that this week was really hard for me. I spent a lot of time crying. I had a lot of anxiety. It was just a really hard week where a lot came up for me. But that's something I'm really trying to lean into a little bit more and not turn away from. I think a lot of what I've done over the course of the past year is try something, feel this like seemingly unbearable shame and anxiety, and stop because of that. But I'm now sort of making the choice that I want to figure out how to move through this shame and anxiety. And it makes me grateful that I am documenting this, because I think it kind of like does let me keep showing up and putting something out there. I'm trying to figure out what feels different about documenting than other forms of output that I was trying to produce. I think there's some way it's a container that is enabling me to show up imperfectly in a way that I was struggling to with other things that I was trying to commit to, and allow the very nonlinear expression that is happening to me to be okay and to not have to be consistent or show up the same way every day. I really don't understand the way that my artwork and my creation is developing, because it feels very nonlinear. I move between different mediums. When I started to paint again, it was like abstract watercolors, and then it was like abstract oils, like digital art, but very abstract. And then eventually I started doing figurative work again. They look very different than before, and they're still very expressive and kind of unplanned. Add in poetry, add in essay writing, add in making songs, pottery, fiber arts. Think of it kind of like a whack-a-mole. Like some form of artistic expression will like all of a sudden spout up, and I will kind of tend to it, and then it will sort of dry up. And I don't really have a sense of rhyme or reason about the order or why I'm moving through different things. A lot of my mindset about how productivity works and how like output works is telling me that I'm super inconsistent, that I can't stick to something. And now I'm more like, I think this is the way that I work, but it does make it hard when I'm not really building like a base in one thing, and my work is changing really fast. And it's part of the reason that I did decide to make documenting the thing that I was committed to, because it's a form, it's like a container that can hold whatever else I create within it. Most of why I'm doing everything I'm doing is frankly because it is helping me process my own experience. The things that I have been drawn to doing are not things I consciously chose, but things I slowly found that my body wanted to do, be that drumming or ecstatic dance or painting with really bright colors. All of the things I'm doing were not things I ever knew myself to want to do before, but I slowly started to notice what felt good in my body and what my body was drawn to. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of the things that I've ended up doing are things that were a part of human culture, a part of human ritual, a part of human spirituality for most of our history. What I've noticed after just a lot of trial and error is that I'm really drawn to like very intense pigments, and bringing in an element of chance or kind of not knowing what's going to happen. And that's very different than the work that I used to do before, where I was really focused on an end result. I just started doing the other day these like neon drips and then putting a palette knife through it. And I mean, they just, like, I feel really excited when I look at it, and that's like, and when I do it. And I think that's a lot of what I want in my art right now. At the end of the day, I didn't make a masterful work of art this week. I didn't write a best-selling essay. What I tried to do was to return to a sense of presence in my own experience, even in the midst of a lot of uncomfortable sensation. But perhaps what I'm most proud of this week is that I asked for help. I moved to a new place where I didn't know anyone right when I burned out, and so I've been very physically isolated. And while I've built relationships, I've sort of felt like the level of difficulty I'm going through doesn't quite match the level of relationship I've built here. But I sucked it up this week and spent way too long drafting an email to some women I know.
But at least I did it.
And within a day, I'd received 6 responses. I've gone on a walk with someone, I've had dinner with someone, I've co-worked with someone, and I have more things scheduled. I really think wherever I'm going to get in my own journey and wherever we're going to get collectively, we can't go alone. Asking for help isn't easy, but it's, I think, one of the things that I am having to learn the most this year. That's it for this week. I'll see you again soon. Need to stop analyzing. I need to just fucking dance. I'll be back.